I didn't realize that I had not successfully recorded the audio for our services last Sunday, which was July 19th, until I began doing the preparations for posting it on Facebook for this weekend. So the lamb service and the children's message and the Sunday morning message had the video, but no audio recording. So I enjoyed the messages for the children and for the congregation as well, and I hate to see that work not be saved for posterity's sake or for others who may have not been able to be present at the service and missed it. So it's not quite the same, I know, but let me carry on. I performed an object lesson that I simply called Spots. It is a illustration that I had presented before, maybe on several occasions, but as the kids grow older and become adults, as what new children come on, it gives me the opportunity to pull out lessons and object lessons from the past. Started out showing about different ways to communicate and different ways to speak and different ways to hear, and talked a little bit about the ASL or sign language for the children. We had several children on the front pew last Sunday, and sometimes I know that the messages that I present have elements in it that are a little bit beyond them or above them or over their head, and yet I know that the adults in the congregation are listening as well, and I hope that they always make some kind of connection with the lesson that I'm teaching. It's always the way, I think, when you're working with children. You have to kind of teach above their head. If you always teach them on a childlike level, you'll not be acknowledging the fact that they're growing and that they need us to push and pull them along to think older, to think more in a more mature fashion than they are at that moment. So it's challenging, I know, and sometimes you hit the mark, sometimes you make a point, and then other times you hope that maybe they'll just remember that this was something that was done especially for them at church, and they enjoyed it, and there was special attention focused upon them as they sat on the front row and watching and listening and trying to process what the pastor's doing from the platform. As I talked with them, I wanted to be sharing with them about the uniqueness of certain situations and being able to count. I shared one of the funniest stories I'd heard, that someone was talking about choosing or deciding or sharing who their favorite vampire was. And somebody said, well, I thought the Anne Rice vampires, I enjoyed them. They're really scary. The Twilight vampires are kind of romantic in a way, and even though they're still just vampires, lots of different kinds of vampires. And someone asked their friend, who's your favorite vampire? And they said, well, I like the vampire from Sesame Street. And their friend said, oh, I don't think that he counts. And their friend said, I assure you that he does. So but I'm going to be doing a lesson. The kids I know can count to 6, 8, 9, 10. All the children that are on the front pew for this lesson, I was assured that they had their beginning grasp of numbers. So I have a white placard board. It kind of looks like it is a card, but kind of looks like a die, like you played a game with. And starting out, it has 4 dots on it, and indicate it really should only have 2 sides, a front side and then a back side. Now you can see that there are 4 dots on the front. Well, what I want to try to do them is trick them a little bit, or fool them, or confuse them a little bit, just for the fun of the game or the fun of the illustration. As I turn it over, they can see there's 1 dot on this side, 4 dots on the back side. So this is the front, perhaps, or the back, and then there are 6 on this side, and then there are 3 on this side. By this point, I know that they're familiar with the numbers, But there should really only be two sides to this card: 4, 1, 6, and 3. I want to give them just a moment to allow that to sink in. What I'm going to be doing, and really a lot of my children's messages are introduction to my adult messages later on. I'm going to be talking about the fact that a lot of the things that God has done in our lives are a lot of the things that the Bible says that God has done. There's only one of them. They're one of a kind. They're not repeated. They're not duplicates. They're not redoing something. Now, I like this kind of trick because I'm want to give away the secret. Of course, they may have already suspected that I was covering something up or hiding something from them. So I'm showing there really are just two dots on one side, and I'm just covering up a dot to make it look like either 1 or 3. Well, as I show them the other side, they can see now that there are really, truly 6 dots on that side. And the idea was that I was teaching them how I was doing the trick. And there really are now actually 3 dots on this side. So as they're watching and carefully looking at this, the point is that sometime when people are multiplying the numbers and making things more than they should be, it's an intent to confuse you. Well, here it's just for fun. But when we're talking about the things of God, and of course there's an 8 on that side now, and that's the surprise ending of the illustration. When people are talking about duplicating the things of God or what God has done for us or what He wants to do for us, sometimes there's only one thing. There's only one of a kind, and He wants us to know the truth about what He's doing. There are no copies that have any value when talking about the things that God does. Well, I always enjoy my time with the children, and I hope that they will remember this always as a time that we spent together as the pastor and the children, a time that I don't always get with them in Sunday school or in their visits to church. I always have some time to spend with them during Vacation Bible School, and we've recently had that blessing. And then during Lamb service each time, sometimes they can assist me and have a very special part in the children's message. But I hope that the adults enjoy them as well, because as a matter of fact, there's always a message for them, and sometimes it is primarily for them in the children's service.